Advancing, jars from Branson to make it through my circumstances. But you know I'm wise enough never just to hide my pound. Got a house in the so I might give a 6 to my chick.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in today. This video is on how to sew in without a closure, very detailed. Please subscribe if you haven't and give this video a big thumbs up. You can also share to friends and family and leave a comment on what you think about this tutorial. For this style, the pattern of cornrow is totally different. First, you just separate the hair into two portions. Let the front part be the biggest part and the back part be smaller than the front part. For the back side, you just cornroll it upwards, and I'm just making sure that the cornrows are medium size so that after sewing in the weave-on and trimming it, the back part will be very flat.
Until you find your way back home.
Part of the cornrow, I'm just cornrolling it all back. I'm also not braiding the tips, I'm leaving the tips halfway.
Don't let me drown.
After cornrolling all the head, I'm just joining all the tips of the cornrows into one big cornrow. Reason is just so that it will give it like a big hood or the fitting of Rihanna. I really don't know how to explain this part. Please just watch the video very carefully so that you know why I actually cornrowed it. I actually joined all the cornrows in one big cornrow.
Until you find your way back home.
Yeah, I'm just using needle and thread to hide the tips of the hair before I start stitching. The hair we're using today for this tutorial, and it is synthetic hair called Skyway Expression product, and it's in color 1. It's very affordable, and like I said before, is a synthetic hair. So I'm just going to use only one pack for this hair. For the back, I'm stitching only one weft, and I'm stitching the weft very close to each other so that when I trim, that after fixing the hair, after sewing in the weave-ons, when I trim it, there won't be any gap in between any of them, so that I'm not doing the turnover method. When I get to the end, I will just cut the weave-on, that's the web of the weave-on, using a razor, and then take the weave-on to the next line and continue sewing.
On your way back home. I can't find my way.
Continue stitching that way until I get very close to the big cornrow.
With the demons you've been through, I can't regret leaving you alone until you find your way back home.
Camera went off. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't get to show you guys how I sewed this part side. So what I did was just to take a single weft and then sew this starting from the middle side of the big cornrow, sew this straight up to the smaller pattern side, just to the front. Now what I'm doing is just to take a single weft. I'm starting from the center or from the inside of the weft that I already sewed in before. Now sewing it underneath the bigger cornrow and then taking it straight up to the other longer pattern side. This is so that it will just give it like a base, and then when I trim it, that's after sewing, when I trim it, it will give her a good fitting. Now what I'm doing is just to take a single weft. I'm starting from the center or from the inside of the weft that I already sewed in before. Now sewing it underneath the bigger cornrow and then taking it straight up to the other longer pattern side. This is so that it will just give it like a base, and then when I trim it, that's after sewing, when I trim it, it will give her a good fitting. Just sew the single weft until I reach the longer side, the longer pattern side. So when I reach there, we just cut off the excess part and start sewing from the inside.
Don't let me drown. Until you find your way back home.
The big cornrow, just to cover it up, I'm taking double weft and then start sewing from the inside of the left side to the inside of the right side. Please, as much as I can, I'm trying to explain this style, but the best way to understand is just for you to carefully watch it. If possible, you can watch it more than once. So I'm sewing the weave on top of the big cornrow, and remember I said 2 wefts, but if you want you can add up another 2 extra ones just to cover it up, and then from here you can now start sewing, like you can now start stitching 2 wefts, or maybe 3 or 4 wefts, depending on how much your weave on is. But my weave on is not that much, so I'm just doing 2 wefts. When I need to add more extra 2, we add more extra 2, just for it to be like huge, like for it to look very full, that part. I will just continue sewing in a U shape until I get to the front, and still doing the cutting method. When I get to the end of the cornrow, we just cut the weft and then place it on the next line and continue sewing.
Until you make amends with the demons you've been through. And I can't regret leaving you alone until you find your way back home.
I'm adding extra 2 wefts to the 2 wefts I already have, making it 4 wefts, so that place will be really full. It will look really full.
Until you find your way back home.
Just continue sewing in a U shape until the wefts of both sides become very close. I'm just adding more wefts to this side of the head so that it will look very full, because sometimes it gives fitting when the hair is full from the front part, but not really full, just, you know, just full. Anyways,
let me drown
reason we are doing this method, we'll leave a link to a detailed tutorial on how to do this method. Using bonding glue and this Swiss lace they usually use to make closures and frontal, so I really want the hair, or the client really wants the hair to look like a closure in front. That's the closing. Just sewing the Swiss lace onto her head, and as I'm sewing, the first thing I did was just to fold the Swiss lace into 2 parts and then start stitching with needle and thread. But as I'm stitching, I'm making sure that the lace is actually flat in front of her head. So start stitching from the left side like a U-shape stitching kind of. This method, you just apply bonding glue on the weft of the hair and then cut into pieces and start placing it on that part where we actually stitch the Swiss lace. As I'm placing it, I'm actually pressing, I'm adding little pressure, and then after that we just spray gel on it. And then as I'm placing, I'm actually like leaving a straight line which is going to serve as the pattern. Just gently place the pieces of the weave-on her head and then leaving like a line which is the demarcation between the left and the right, serving as the pattern of the style. Continue spraying, placing the weft of the hair until I get to the end, and also going to do the same on the other side of the head.
I can't find my way back to you until you make amends with the demons you've been through. And I can't regret leaving you alone until you find your way back home. Find your way back home.
After gently placing the weft on both sides and then making sure that there are no space in between them, then we'll just comb the hair after that and then start trimming. So we'll just start trimming the back, and then for the back we'll just trim it very low. And so that was why I said when I was fixing, I was not leaving any gap in between them, and also I used only one weft at the back so that after trimming the back will look very flat.
Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown.
And for the front, it can be trimmed any style, like depending on the person's face. Like for her, we actually trimmed it this way. I can't really explain the way we trimmed it, but it can be trimmed anyhow. But for the back has to be trimmed very flat because that's the fitting of the hair. Is the final look. Thanks so much for watching this video to the end. Thanks so much for watching this video to the end. Hope it's helpful. Please share, like this video, like give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll talk to you guys later. Stay blessed.
that you tell yourself.